We just put $500 worth of pastured, organic, free-range burger in our freezer. And in this video, we're gonna show you the tools you need and the process to use so you can put premium, organic, free-range, grass-fed, whatever you wanna call it, high-quality burger in the freezer for your family, whether it's goat or beef or venison like it was for us. So stay with us. Last week we showed you that I had a successful deer hunt. Since then I've had 2 more deer that we were able to put in the freezer. It's been a really good deer season. And we decided this weekend it was time to make some burger. So we got all our equipment out, we set up, and after just a few hours we had almost $500 worth of amazing quality burger ready for our family down in the freezers. So what do you need to do your own burger? Well, first obviously you need some meat. So the meat that we are grinding in this video is venison, but you can use the same process for any meat. If you're raising your own beef, obviously you can make your own beef burger. Let's talk about our equipment. To do the grinding, first and foremost, you're going to need a grinder. These range in all shapes and sizes. You can do a hand crank grinder. That's really old school and very slow. There's smaller versions of grinders that you can put on a KitchenAid mixer. We used to use a KitchenAid mixer grinder. That was also very slow. It could handle maybe half a deer in a couple hours. If you only do a little bit of burger, if you're doing it as you need it, maybe for recipes or for a big barbecue coming up, that could be a good option. If you want to grind through a whole deer or multiple deer, you're better off buying yourself a grinder. A big heavy machine that's ready to grind through a lot of meat. Here we have a Cabela's model grinder. This was a gift from my grandma, so thanks Grammy. We got this a couple years back and this thing has plowed through a lot of meat. It does a great job. I'll put a link in the description of this video for any of the equipment you see here so you know what equipment we use. This model is a very powerful model. There's more powerful, higher horsepower models, but this one has been perfect for us doing 1, 2, maybe 3 deer at a time. In addition to the grinder, I like to keep a couple really big stainless steel bowls. I purchased these really giant ones. You can see how big they are. They're bowls that people use to make kimchi out of. I purchased them at an Asian supermarket called H Mart that we have in our area, in the Connecticut, New York area. But I'm sure there's something on Amazon and I'll find something, put a link below. The bowls are nice for keeping all your meat. You're going to be mixing. You'll watch as we show you our process, how we use these bowls. They store the meat we're going to grind, they catch the meat that we are grinding, and we use them to mix the ground meat the first time through. We give it a good mixing. So a couple big stainless steel bowls, the bigger the better. These bowls could hold 3 deer's worth of ground meat, so that's the kind of bowl you want. Sometimes with grinding you might have a baby. I do not recommend using a baby. They slow down the process a whole lot. Mwah! Off you go. So in addition to your grinder and a couple big bowls, obviously you're going to need a few sharp knives, a couple cutting boards in case you have to trim any of the meat or any of the fat that you're adding into your burger. After doing this for almost 10 years, I found no better solution than the Lem ground meat packaging system. This little system, it's only $30, and with this system you get so much done so quickly, which we'll show you in this video. The process for grinding your own burgers is pretty simple. You want to grind your burgers twice. That way you get a really thorough grind, especially when you're adding in fat. If you're grinding something like venison, which is a very lean meat, you're going to want to add some fat. We are fortunate, we raise pastured pigs every year, and so we have some lard from those pigs that we add. And usually we add it, out of every 10 pounds, we add about a pound of fat. You can play around with that number. You can go a little heavier or a little lighter, depending on what you prefer. In addition to lard, you could also use beef suet. We decided to stop using suet because it seemed to leave a little bit of a film on our burgers. After you'd eat the burger, you'd have this funny taste in your mouth. So we use pork fat now. The first time through, what you see is on the one side of the grinder we have all our meat to be ground and the fat to add, and we cut that on a cutting board. We throw that right into the grinder. It grinds it into one of these big stainless steel bowls. We grind all of the meat that first way through. I do trim the meat, especially for a deer. I'll trim off a lot of the tendons and a lot of the fat before I put it through the grinder, just to have a better flavor to the burgers. If you were grinding something like beef where the fat tasted good, you wouldn't have to trim that off. We take 9 pounds of meat for every 1 pound of fat. We put that into the grinder. It grinds it through and puts it in the stainless steel bowl. After the first grind, you'll find that the meat that you've ground along with the fat is not really mixed very well. There'll be a lot of red meat and then clumps of white where you put fat through the machine. So take a spoon or some tool and stir it, mix it up. You can use your hands, get it thoroughly mixed. Then we take that stainless steel bowl outside if it's cold enough. That way the meat stays nice and cool. We change out the grinder plates to a finer plate so that it creates a better blend. We grind the entire pile of meat a second time through. You'll find the second grind is a harder grind than the first one. The second grind goes a little bit slower. The machine has a harder time processing ground meat than it does whole muscles, so it will be a slower grind. And generally I put it through a finer plate so that the end product is more thoroughly mixed. Once that second grind is done, it's time to start packaging. This particular model of grinder, you cannot set up to grind and bag at the same time. We have ground before with the Lem's big mouth grinder, and that one you can usually grind right into the bags directly. With this Cabela's unit, what we do is we take out the grinder blade, we put the sausage stuffing attachments onto the grinder, we turn the grinder on, and now a third time we put all the meat through the grinder. This time we take our bags, we place them at the end of the grinder over the stuffer, and it fills the bags from the back to that 1 pound line. Then we take the bags, we give them a twist, we run them through the Lem machine here, and you're all done. Using this Lem device has made doing burgers so much quicker, so much easier. I cannot stress enough how big of a game changer this is, and for $30 it's totally worth it. Included in this system are these plastic bags which are good for keeping the meat. They're all ready to be labeled. All you got to do is check what you're putting in it, put the date, put the weight. They actually give you a line for the 1 pound mark, so it's easy to keep track of how much meat you've put up. Once these bags are filled, all you have to do is pull the bag through this contraption here. That's tape right there. As you pull the bag down through, the tape closes the bag, and then there's a little razor blade right there where you cut the tag end off, and it just is quick. You wind up with a pile of nice, neat 1 pound bags full of delicious meat that look professional and will keep for a very long time. There's no easier, quicker way I've tried the vacuum sealers for ground meat. They don't work well. They don't work very well with the ground meat itself. I've tried other methods, Ziploc bags. Nothing beats this, and it's very inexpensive to use. So get yourself one of these Lem units. If you want to get the Lem system, link in the description. If you're grinding deer, it's nice to have a couple deer to do. If you're doing a bigger animal than deer, then obviously having just 1 cow would be enough. Organic pastured meat in our area goes for $10 per pound. Deer running around the woods, it doesn't get any more organic or pastured than that. And with the 3 deer, so we get almost $500 worth of great quality meat, in addition to all the steaks that wound up in the freezer, which add a lot more value. An incredible amount of money saved. Obviously, this equipment, when you first buy it, is going to be a big purchase. This unit is hundreds of dollars, and all the extra stuff you're going to need another $100. So there's an initial cost up front, but over the years of doing your own burger, you will save money, and it's a great way to feed your family. Our freezers are full. I hope you can fill your freezers. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions, put them in the comments below. And if you want to learn more about deer hunting, I have a deer hunting course, which you can check out right here. That teaches you everything you need to know, start to finish, from finding deer, tracking deer, to practice shooting, to processing the deer. Or you can check out our deer hunting playlist and our other videos all about feeding your family good quality meat. Thanks for watching.